might have already thrown out by Jay-Hong, and they're going to start the fight up with Coalescence, but he's caught off to the side. His positioning makes no sense there. I guess trying or hoping that the Defiant wouldn't focus him down, but they went for him. Illicit though and Marvel are able to make do though in the absence of their Moira. Logix gets taken down and the cleanup is here. The sound barrier was thrown in. Blizzard also from Illicit, but hey, you take those any day.
They're trying to get some value with the biotic grenades.
Fitz over the top, sound barrier ready for the Defiant. Main strike first, Logix goes in with 3. Fitz trying to follow up with a Death Blossom of his own, but it's a little bit too late in the piece. It looked very pretty coming down off the top of the pillar. Unfortunately, didn't really have the impact he needed it to, and that ultimate straight down the drain.
He's on it, but like I mentioned on the pre-show, you know, he's been playing a lot of Ana lately. We can take a look at this Logic Death Blossom here inside. He is not given the effects of the sound barrier, but just comes around the corner, gets a 3K.
Great, it doesn't feel like much has been added here in the absence of the better upfront healing of the Moira. Here comes another Blizzard from the Toronto Defiant, and they have got it all sorted out. Illicit's forced into Ice Block now, but Fitz has to use Wraith Walk to avoid being frozen. That means he can't get out when A tries to cut him down. Another ball comes up, and here's the sound barrier for the Defiant. Toby in trouble trying to stick in the back corner. Illicit, his Blizzard is taken away. Everything's going wrong for the Seoul Dynasty. That one just got thrown into the future vacuum, and Logix has another Death Blossom on the horizon, and you know he'll be happy to use it. It's time. He pushes up, his boot back by Toby. Risky play for the Lucio, and it does keep some of Seoul alive, but not enough to mount a meaningful resistance here. Logix does have the inkling that Fitz is behind him using a Death Blossom, but the positioning for Fitz hasn't been good enough with those ultimates.
It's really Gods though. He makes the play and eats that Blizzard that comes in from Illicit.
The Defiant now are in a position to make life very hard for Seoul. So here's Gods playing above the wall, and look at this. Setting up, he gets plenty of notice. It was pointed out yesterday that with Blizzard there is quite a bit of time because it's a slow move projectile that needs to get to its location before the Blizzard activates. So they are accruing percentages the entire time. It's a good sign for the Dynasty now as the Blizzard comes out and locks Gods in place. Deadeye from Logix doesn't find anything, but here's where the real work begins. He's trying to push up, and that pesky Orisa bubble is in his way. Still finds ahead of Toby though, sends him packing. Here's the Blizzard on the point now from the Defiant.
Yeah, this is still good point progress though for Seoul Dynasty as some ultimates come in here towards the end. This should be the point for Toronto. That Logic started to pump up there, had the effects of the supercharger. They used a nano boost on the Gods during the Blizzard that came down from Illicit.
Sound barrier now for the Defiant. They are looking durable as heck, and Marvel Supercharger is down. Another Deadeye from Logix. Again, Defense Matrix appears to have eaten much of that up. Or at least no targets that are really there for him to be getting. Making sure trying to keep Gods back in the mech, but it's no good. It's normally the Diva that has the body block for the main, not the other way around. Things looking a little bit dicey now for the Defiant as Mangachu is frozen. And Seoul will retake the point now, and again, because they start off in control, they're still fine in percentage. It's just waiting. There's no need for him to push up any further forward. He's going to go for a up-close and personal one there. But gets it off. He has to go straight into Wraith form though. Blizzard being thrown now down at that point. Mangachu is out on the picture here in the Defiant. Some frivolous ult usage here. They get no results out of those in the Dynasty already. They started in a good position on this map, Matt, and it looks like they're going to take this round.
Yeah, really nice use of their ultimates there towards the end. They end up having the Death Blossom go off on one side with Fitz, and then they throw the Blizzard around the other side. So Toronto's in a tough spot. You either run into the Death Blossom or you back up into the Blizzard there.
It's a Venn diagram of murder, man. You don't want to walk him through either side of that. Great zone coverage those abilities can provide. Logix is down now. See Mangachu switching over to the Doomfist, but there'll be no chance to get to the point. One apiece here on Lijiang Tower.
Most of their defense matrix and Fitz have used the Wraith Walk to get out of the way, so you lose both of those big cooldowns. You have to start to back up.
I mean, this is where you want to be, right? Reaper. Oh, maybe not. Get frozen out of the sim. Great. You do want to be in the thick of things, but not if you are having your ability to shoot taken away from you. Not ideal. Shell's able to find 2 heroes and pressure onto the point. Gods will be desuited.
I think Logic tried to push that a little bit too far.
Another wall, that. This is up there, Orisa shield. Another one's going to be thrown out there, Mangachu. Oh, he does it with death. He goes in with the Blizzard. It somehow got in under the defense matrix, and Michelle wasn't able to shut it down. Michelle frozen here. Oh, it's Toby. The shield was there, but Gods is still able to take him down with a self-destruct, and Logix has got to this fight. This is maybe what you want to be doing, a little bit more subtle, you know what I mean? Nuanced approach to playing the point as Reaper. Although nothing about the character up close and personal is remotely subtle. Logix is making sure he stays out of the line of fire until it is time to strike, until he can be guaranteed those kills. Fitz trying to drop in here. He'll be dropping out all quick too.
Looks like Fitz had done that. Michelle comes in as well.
Oh, lessons here for Jayhawk. It'll be a death blossom here from Fitz, but okay, he gets a lot of damage on Sharik there, yeah. No direct instant impact. He didn't get kills with the death blossom, but he got those tanks low enough. And Seoul are back in the driver's seat for now.
And they didn't have to use Sound Barrier or Blizzard there.
Got that good hold, that 50% hold to start with now. The Defiant trying to get to the point overtime, yeah, no good. The clock was just against the mat in the Seoul Dynasty. Very back and forth here, but they will take Lijiang Tower.
A very close map against the Toronto Defiant. Seoul barely comes out on top as the Toronto, you're able to make one final push there. You had some ultimates to work with. You're just not able to get on, make a touch. And I like how they bring in the Batiste and the Ana. It's a combination we've seen on defense here. Fitz gonna TP.
Okay, oh, the classic one. Yep. All right.
They speed boost him back. What is he? Probably comes back on Reaper.
This is what the this is what the Blizzard devs could do is back in closed beta.
So this will allow them to get to the point, or get to the high ground. The issue is this just allows them to just play around this Widowmaker.
Look at that.
Logix knows. He's heard this. He's called it out to his team. Everybody on the Toronto Defiant has looked over towards this side. So the surprise, not really much of a surprise anymore. It does help them close the gap a little bit.
Yeah, it gets through that choke pretty much directly on top of Dodge's frozen step and the Hoxicle.
And then he tried to back up and his own Baywall was right there and he couldn't move.
Oh, well, the Defiant. I mean, I appreciate what Seoul did there. They kind of avoid having to deal with running the Widowmaker gauntlet by going around the side. That strategy is as old as time in Overwatch terms, like using the Symmetra to get around. But for a set play, Seoul Dynasty really made it work.
And it's nice from Michelle. As soon as he sees the Widowmaker on the back, he flies right up with the defense matrix, challenges it.
Now the Dynasty have to commit. Fitz happy in the corner in general, but Magnitude comes up and gives him a glove slap to the head. Says, "What are you thinking, son?" There's that little hook in there. Could be Blizzard throw down with the point. Cage and Matrix. No, Magnitude loses it. He eats it up. That amp Matrix now needs to get a lot of value. Now listen, he needs to be careful.
They're still in a good spot though. They end up getting main tank in the main. No Blizzard can come through from Seoul Dynasty.
Nice spot. Straight over the edge. Fitz can't get his able to join his team. Where he wants to be right now. He needs to TP, but he's cut down by Sharik.
They try and sound barrier this to potentially keep him alive as he had the Death Blossom. He could have got it down on the flank, but
there are a lot of unforced errors here for Seoul early. And Fitz loses through. All right, not very subtle. Fitz just gets nattoed and Marvel's dead already, so there's not going to be any shielding. That was Logix just going for Storm Arrows before the shield was up. Fitz tried to drop in there and get the finish, but it doesn't work out. Thank Mr. Logix for that one. And the Dynasty again are squashed. Still has a chance to use that Blizzard. Here it comes. Toronto over there first. Magnitude throws his down. Listen has his up as well. God's trying to make the most of the whole hold before he is frozen. Solid, but Michelle comes in from the back. Two very important kills. Much needed for the Seoul Dynasty. And now Fitz has got himself back into the cookie jar. He's found his pickups here, and that will be the Seoul Dynasty finally able to push through with setup without support ultimates, by the way, which is ridiculous. I mean, they don't make it easy for themselves, but at least they get it done.
Still a pretty good hold there for the Toronto Defiant. That comes in from Michelle, that sets it up. We can take a look at the self-destruct that comes in here from Michelle. The Blizzards come down from both teams. He throws the self-destruct over the top, connects with two. This is really what opens it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's no opportunity for a barrier here. Sharik, they try and go for a wall to protect themselves. Actually, it's just the placement was so good for Michelle. I mean, this illicit stalling right now is going to be really annoying. They're going to be frantically yelling to try and clean up some of these kills. Oh, no, the Blizzard's gone! Global warming strikes again. Listen, not able to slow that one down at all, and now the Defiant are in a good position to turn this one to their advantage. It looked like they started a little bit slow, Matt, but this is fine.
But now you come back in the next fight, you're going to end up having a Blizzard of your own, a Supercharger, a self-destruct, and a nano boost here where it's destruct again.
Oh, very cheeky. He's going to drop in now. The placement was so good, but Magnitude lost his Blizzard. Logix is able to get his second kill for the fight here, but they lack the staying power. They don't have any tanks in play, and there's a nano boost on Fitz. He's very tough to kill.
That is a huge fight win there for Seoul Dynasty. Gets a nano boost towards the end. Let's take a look from Fitz POV.
Oh, that's so clever.
Yeah, it goes right over the top, and it all happens at the same time. The Death Blossom, the nano boost, and the eat of the Blizzard here.
So gives Fitz ample time to reposition, and also without being detected. Here it comes, so he's going to use the defensive Death Blossom to try and keep the Defiant away, but it doesn't work out. 8 comes in from the top rope. And now the coalescence from Neko comes in. Illicit is taken down. And the Seoul Dynasty looked like they had things on lock here, but they played too passively. Perhaps if they just bit the bullet and gone for the shot, that would have made the difference. But now they're pushed off the point. The Defiant get the map done too. Here's what they managed to do in that last end of that round.
So let's take a look at this again. So he's able to pick up the Reaper here through traffic, and then to his left here, he boots Jaehong out of the way while he's actually throwing a biotic grenade there. He's able to just displace the support enough for what you're not getting anything from Jaehong there because you're knocking the Ana out of the way. Really nice plays there from Aid.
Seoul have to hold their breath here and trying to find a way through without anyone getting picked up, but there it is. Logix finds the finish again. But the hook on Alyssa was pretty much a death sentence in and of itself. There's a barrier there in Logix's way. He'll just be patient, wait for it to go. Hit on Jaehong. If he happens to place the Widowmaker now, Fitz is going to close the gap on him though and get the cleanup. He's going to come in from the top side, and Sharik needs to be mindful. The Reaper's about to come in. Fitz up close and personal, trying to find the damage. Coalescence comes out, but he's hooked in. Dots gets him. And Jaehong's Coalescence now has really no recipients to try and wrap around and help with Toby, but it's all but done here. And we do see Illicit make his foray here on Tracer, but there is a lot of things on the point right now. Supercharger, Immortality Field, Orisa Shield, and that is the hold for the Defiant here in extra innings. But it's going to be tough with Maywalls getting in your way and splitting you up just like that one. Mangachu cut off for the rest of his team with that walled in play. He goes into Ice Block, but how long can he be protected for? There's 4 seconds remaining and he's been taken down. Aid is rotated back around to the point here, and the 5 remaining players from Toronto are making their final last-ditch push. Coalescence has come out from both sides. Cone of Silence, Defense Matrix placed over the head of Logix. He's trying to get around there, but Sharik is now fallen. The Defiant are now down to 4. Fitz, we'll call that a zoning death loss of Furries of reference. And yeah, there's no one left here for the Toronto Defiant now. God's taken out D-Mech. It will be Neko trying to wrap around, but he will not get there. And the draw is secured here on Boskaya Industries. A very good sign for Seoul Dynasty, who only need one more map win to take the series.
Marvel's actually able to pick one up, so how does Logix end up? There's no hold there. He's actually just trying to like rotate maybe backwards. Big biotic grenade there, Sharik. But again, nothing out of it.
Great wall. Look at that. Look how many players from the Defiant sat behind it. Their entire support line. Very well done by the Dynasty. Just a sequential approach with those picks. You get a hold there. Jaehong actually is going to fade through.
Oh, their big biotic grenade though. Neko. Next 4.
Oh, yeah. Great sneak dart. Logix can just sort of sit back and let this happen now. Again, it's tricky. That high ground makes it very hard. Seoul don't have a barrier that they can constantly reposition. Constantly back up. Toby, so cheeky. He's in trouble, the lad. Oh, that's a part of gore for healing. Alright, Logix has to opt out.
Yeah.
No one affected by it. It did put the Dynasty in a weirder position now, but the Defiant have to do something with this. They force position now, but they get caught in the blizzard! Oh dear! Sharik's not going to get out either. Yeah, he's fortified for now. He's just trying to get picks, but he is done. What a fantastic burst of speed here from the Seoul Dynasty. That's what having a Lucio does give you.
There's no way they were going to back out of that, Toronto. They had no speed boost. And also, they couldn't really back out because they're going to give up the point. So Seoul Dynasty storming through Blizzard World here on offense.
Yes, they're looking really good right now. They managed to overcome the high ground advantage the Hanzo had. It's been pretty important there. The Defiant needed pressure release. Foul.
You can just hold on here if you're Seoul Dynasty. You get Fitz back, and now you're going to get Jaehong around the corner too.
Absolutely nowhere, guys. They needed him to stay alive, and Alyssa's going to double down against Logix as well on the other side. That's a headshot with an icicle, by the way.
And they have Blizzard plus their Death Blossom here for the end as they're getting very close to completing the map with a ton of time in the bank. And with that map 2 draw, if Toronto needs to win out the final 2 maps, this would be a really bad start to try and make that happen.
Ice Wall was already used! That's a Defiant, alright. I think a little bit of a miscommunication there. Look.
Toronto's trying to work for a pick.
Yeah, in the absence of Defense Matrix, so there was still a barrier up there for Marvel, so the Defiant weren't able to strike blood, even though they were freezing the enemy deep. Mangachu trying to sneak around that corner. Oh, man. The endothermic blasters are really doing work here, but losing Illicit early, not good for the Seoul Dynasty, and they're in no position now to back out. Yeah, they have Toby's speed, but he ain't using it here.
Yeah, they take a very close fight, Seoul Dynasty, and they're not able to win it.
They don't have a Roadhog. Normally you go for Roadhog when you want to play that close.
I mean, yes, you could play the Roadhog that close, Roadhog then becomes like a little bit of like an ult battery for the other team. Maybe we're scared a little bit of like Hanzo play.
Coalescence, it's hard to have that blocked off. Supercharge throw down immediately, that's Jayhong's response. Get the Coalescence up, keep Fitz especially alive. Soundberry here for the Toronto Defiant. Can they do something meaningful with this though? Oh dear, the deposit from Logix! That man's cracked! He just lets go! And the Dynasty were thinking they'd be able to shut him down after the sound barrier. He just flips the script.
The entire time, waiting for the perfect time. So you can see this is where he's actually behind enemy line. He's back, hides for just a split second, and then gets a giant death loss, and the player's just running into it.
Alive until Coalescence gets here though. There it is, Blizzard's thrown down. Neko just trying to gilt through that Coalescence. God gets caught up, and that one he is desuited here. Logix just tries to go for the death loss. Again, gets the 1-for-1. He takes that. And with Alyssa now being taken down, the Defiant are happy with this. Payload still needs a bit of movement. Should have it done. Jayhong can't really stall here. Bardic all thrown at the wall to bounce back and keep healing.
You can't fight this. Yeah, you have to back up. You're going to give up .2 here to the Toronto Defiant.
Benchmate inside Coalescence and then ended them blast the main primary fire. Being able to freeze a Diva and having not being able to do anything about it is strong, but freezing a Reaper is just as good. Here's the Blizzard. Michelle caught up inside that one. Wouldn't be too bad if that's the only casualty here. Jayhong is trying to garnish his team's retreat with Coalescence, but losing Fitz there is not good.
If you're solo, just jump on the point, prevent the cart from moving up.
Yeah, Jayhong did just that.
So you saw Marvel, Jayhong, the rest of the crew do that.
Throwing up there. It comes the supercharger. Interesting. Oh, I can imagine that one. Fitz is going to get two though with that death loss, and that is big. Logic's there. Can't get away. There was no health in ya, Fitz. Hey, you got to give as good as you get sometimes.
So if you're the Defiant, you hold on to just death loss and you have nothing else here to use.
Let's have a look at
This type of situation is pretty risky. Take a look, Supercharger comes crazy, he just walks right on forward. The Blizzard is also there. The sound barrier is just a little bit late for me.
But there's a bit of tech for you. And the payload keeping it contested while this fight continues. Ice wall, ice block, both used by Alyssa. Needs to be careful. Always taken out by Magnitude. This could be a little bit dangerous. Counter picks coming in here. Even the fire from Magnitude gets him there faster, but it's pretty strong against Reaper and May in general. So I'll need to play this one safe. Need to try and play this one far away, but Magnitude gets another one, and here it comes, the fabled Magnitude Fire. Another connection with the rocket, and this one could be over. Marvel's trying to back away. Jayhong's caught inside that small area. He's got a barrage already. Are you kidding me? Marvel's going to take down Toby and Alyssa, taken down by the barrage. Magnitude playing to the high ground now, and it will be a minefield thrown over on the point there. Marvel was able to get that one there, but Toronto Defiant, the Houdinis of the Overwatch League, somehow stay in it.
Worth to try and make a play at it, resets it completely.
Seoul Dynasty now making a real push of it here. Magnitude ice block. Keep in mind, he's going to have to get Blizzard after the ice block is not before it. He gets the chance. He's frozen solid. He has the Blizzard. He's not going to be taken down though. Soul go for the Blizzard first on the point. Sound barrier now. Michelle trying to look to the skies and Logix. Oh, he tried to jump onto the point. It looks like Toby booped it back up onto the high ground and shut down the Death Blossom. That's huge. Logix finally taken down now, and it's just got to the point. Goes in with a self-destruct above. No one caught by that one though, and Soul just playing safe. They're trying to capture the point. They only need that one tick, but Gods actually wins the battle against Jayhong here. It's only Toby for healing, but it looks like that's going to be enough. Neko frozen solid and taken down. The wrecking balls have entered. Here we go. Sound barrier out for the Toronto Defiant, but it's not enough to keep Johnson inside his back, and Sharik gets frozen once more. A taken down by Marvel. What an important pick-off that was. Seoul Dynasty putting it all together at the end here, and Fitz on the Doomfist, the cherry on top. And the Seoul Dynasty keep those playoffs alive and well as they take the second map in this series, which means their lead is unassailable. The Defiant cannot play spoiler to them today.
Not going to play the Reaper. It means it's really on Marvel. He closes the gap here by getting hooked in. Michelle makes it behind.
Ice cold. Absolutely stellar play from Logix.
It's just how do you close the gap here for Seoul Dynasty? Because if you're Toronto, you can just keep playing in this open space. Just play around the Widowmaker.
Hello there.
Hey, Toronto's having fun.
All thrown up. Now the Dynasty only has shield protection. So see Logix probably move around to the right-hand side to get better purchase here. Listen now. Oh, I mean, yeah, it looked like he was outside of it, Dots, but doesn't matter. Blizzard thrown down now to very little result. Logic's finding Fitz, and here's going to be a big problem. I don't think the Dynasty really have an answer to him with this composition on this map. They're going to keep running into that.
I think we saw this on Volskaya. I think Volskaya, you can run what Soul's running and try and make a play towards the Widowmaker. I think there's a lot of different angles you can take, right? I think here, on Junkertown, it is so open. It is extremely wide open. Let's take a look at this pickoff. I believe it's on Fitz. He knows the exact time that Reaper is going out.
So they had good coverage, but the Defiant used their shields. Oh man, Logix is going up against 2 snipers. Getting rid of Illicit before Fitz was in position was so good. No resurrection, all taken away for him to respawn back in. I wonder if Fitz really he's opting into this Widow head-to-head.
He has to.
I mean, good luck to him, that's all I have to say. Self-destruct over the top here, the bubble came in just in time, but Sharif was maybe just peeking a little bit too far forward. Either way, we're in overtime now. Toronto are down that 1 player. They're still looking okay. They lose Toby, they lose God, should I say. Logix is still at large, still in a position to try and do damage, and they catch Michelle just a little too close into them, and there's the finish off. Wall comes up, Mangachu's now able to approach, and Logix is just there dishing out the dink smack. This guy is filth! That's nasty! Someone get him out off the stage! Trying to Defiant get that hold here. No checkpoints go to the Seoul Dynasty, but really it's a bit of an empty feeling because the series is already out of their grasp.
Time to flood on some of these. You can take a look at Logic's POV yet again. So actually before this, he picks a kill up on a Toby, as Toby is actually the one with sound barrier who's trying to pressure him.
Look at this AD side thing here. See AD, the keys are hitting for those unaware. Back and forth. Cart is on the move.
Yeah, this is where you'll get in trouble. Yeah, I mean.
That's perfect, that's all you need. Gods is going to lure people out of the house because the Dynasty can't contest the payload and stay safe from the Bastion inside the building.
Halo's just going away.
Gods is the bus driver, he's got the hat. He's got the trucker's cap on, I guess that kind of works. So he's freighting right now. Close to close with Gods.
He has to throw the barrier directly in front. The payload is now actually stopped as Gods has gone back to hell. But
it doesn't matter, yeah.
What an odd beginning, man.
Alright, 8 on the Batiste here, and Neko have pretty safe sidelines here. The Dynasty have a long way to go to get to them, so the healers are very safe here, and that's how Logix is going to be kept alive. The Mentality Field has been deployed in the Blizzard. Michelle was sleeping, so Mangachu knew that was the time to go for the deep freeze treatment. Not only anti-aging, but also good for winning maps in Overwatch, I hear. Toby trying to come forward, boot back. He's in trouble. He's in deep trouble. We're trying to Defiant close to getting home now. The Wrecking Ball switch for Marvel. I'll seek the DC, thank you. There it is! Toronto get themselves a map in this series. It was a short one, owing to Seoul's inability to push past the first checkpoint, but still, the series is locked in. The result is a Seoul Dynasty win.
I think, if you're the Toronto Defiant, it was back on the series.
A hard stuck player. So. But let's talk about our player of the match presented to you by Omen by HP. Michelle, he clutched out Volskaya most importantly. I think that's what gave this team the draw. A lot of big Blizzard eats, definitely shutting down Mangachu on multiple occasions. This, though, was where it began. This is when he really caught my eye.
Yeah, just a really strong play on D.Va all throughout the series. I think when you looked at some of the damage dealers for Seoul Dynasty, you looked at a lot of other players in this series, kind of comparable to Toronto Defiant. I think Michelle
closely matched teams.
Yeah, closely matched teams. Right? I feel like Michelle was the one that made the difference. Did a nice job, eating some of Mangachu's blizzards at key times, keeping it low on death. So I think Michelle had a very good series.
You see the Seoul prefer to use D.Va in that slot instead of the Roadhog in many cases.
Yeah.
They do want to play a little bit more carefully. Now that doesn't mean passive. Careful playing does not mean passive play. Let's just make that clear. But of course, having D.Va there just to sort of help out your own Reaper, but also facilitate for big team fight wins like that. That's a real value add, getting those self-destruct kills. That's the real important stuff. So Seoul now get themselves into 7th. Good map differential. Definitely do want to tie up a couple of wins to make it a sure thing.